I think being balanced between all three sports. Um, I think that's a key. I mean, I didn't plan on qualifying. I think maybe that was a strength too. Um, it was a benefit that St. George was the first year because there was no times, and it was my first Ironman. I just wanted to race my race. I think that was definitely one of the keys for qualifying. I mean, I'm doing St. George again this year. I'd like to qualify again, so I think that I think one thing, since it's an early season race, is just for me at least, I'm going to focus on just having a base and not really doing anything special like speed work, and hopefully qualify that way. I think hopefully that works. Yeah, it was a really good experience. Again, I had no expectations, and I've heard people, say it's the big show and all this, and it was a lot more than what I expected. Just being there, and I think the week before the event and even afterwards, it's a really cool place. But I really like the race as well. It's challenging. I think 2 days before the race, I rode out on the Queen K for the first time, and everything they say about the course is true. I mean, it's brutal. It's hot. It's windy. The things you can't really see, but it's definitely a world championship course. I had a hard swim, fun time on the bike, and managed to make it through on the run, so it was good. That was in Maui. I actually did it last year, but I ended up crashing on the bike and got pulled off the course and wasn't able to finish. So at the beginning of the year, that was kind of my goal, just to get back to Maui and finish the race there. It's also pretty different. It's a 3-hour race compared to a 10-hour race for Ironman, and all year I'd been training just long and slow kind of Ironman stuff. And raced one Xterra to qualify to go to Maui, but it was hard. I mean, 3 hours of pain. Managed to have a really good bike and felt great coming off the bike. Felt great starting the run, and somewhere near mile 6 or so of the run, maybe mile 5, the wheels started to come off. And I mean, I have a hard time usually on the run. As it is, just not feeling confident running, but this was something else. I mean, I just, before I knew I was bonking or whatever happened, I was at a loss. Ended up falling on the lava rocks and managed to get across the finish line, but woke up in a wheelchair with towels on me and got my first IV, and it was for 3 hours. It's a challenging course. Definitely lived up to its name. Yeah, Ultraman was, I loved it. Everything about it. It's, I think it's, as much as it's a triathlon, it's 3 days, it's a stage race, so it's very different. It's just special. I don't know any other word to describe it. I mean, you were racing around the island of Hawaii, the Big Island, doing pretty long days. But it's really teamwork. You have a support crew the whole time, and you're seeing other people's support crew, and you have dinner together every night. So that part of it was really cool. I think it was nice to, even at Kona, we had a bunch of friends that went, and you kind of see them here and there, but you don't really get to hang out. And I think over 3 days you really get to know people more, and going through something like that. And for me, it ended up being something I think I feel most comfortable. Like Xterra was really painful. It's hard for me to really push at that red zone. But that all-day kind of pace with Ultraman, I think that's where I've been training at most of the year. And it's really exciting to me for some reason. I feel better after hour 4 or 5 than I do, in the beginning. So I felt like I was getting warmed up every day. It ended up being pretty exciting to be able to get towards the front in the race too. And it was my longest swim, bike, and run, but I think it's, a lot of people say it's all between the ears at that distance, and it still is weird. I mean, I was looking at my schedule for this year and thinking I want to do an ultra, and thought maybe I should start with some 50Ks, and I thought, well, I just ran over 50 miles, and it still hasn't sunk in, so it's pretty exciting. It definitely was my favorite. There's a lot of ups and downs every day, and it definitely, there's some hard parts on the run for sure, but you know, at that point you're so close to the end, I think it doesn't seem as hard. I think some of the harder times were on day one. You have 2 more days to go, and for me, my legs actually held up, which is a surprise for me on the run the whole time. I felt pretty good on the bike, but the swim, I really struggled the last mile or so. I mean, I was getting to the point where I couldn't move my shoulders, and I just had complete muscle failure. And getting off, I had a nutrition plan that was pretty dialed the whole time, but on the swim, I think I got carried away and started missing fuel, and really felt that at the end of the swim and in the first part of the bike, or in the last part of the bike on day one. So I think day one, it's just mentally it was harder, knowing, you know, the unknown of 2 more big days, and then really I think struggling on the swim, that it was a long swim. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I mean, you know, I got out of the water, I don't even know what place I was in, but after day one, I think I was in 3rd overall, and I was pretty shocked finishing day one, and I think, you know, I didn't know where I was at. Maybe that was part of the challenge of day one. I thought I would be off the back, and I just thought, you know, stay in my own race, but after that, it definitely kept it more exciting. And every day was kind of a success. You know, after day one, I thought, well, whatever happens, I had a good day one, and it kind of went like that every day, so it was exciting. All around us now, I just moved in, I have trails out of my front yard, but you know, I think a lot of the road riding, I like down south, San Diego, Palomar, and all that area. Trail running, I think mountain biking is a little better up here. The Santa Ana Mountains and El Morro and Aliso right here are some of my trails I go to every week. And Nova, swim with Nova Aquatics, so there's, I think we moved here, there was 6 pools within 5 miles between Nova and some of the gyms in high school, so those are my spots I'm usually at.